Hey guys, welcome back to the Patar Project. I'm your host, Nick Patar. Today we are joined by Andy Millar. Brother, thank you for making the trip up here.
No worries, man. It was good. It's nice to drive somewhere that people aren't total psychopaths in New South Wales.
True. So is Millar your actual last name or what's your Serbian last name?
Nah, bro. So Miller is so when I was doing music, so my last name is Jukovic,
Yeah.
but no one can A, say that, and B, pronounce
I'm
it,
not even going to attempt it.
or C, spell it.
No.
So when I was doing music, I got asked to change my name because no one could ever find or look me up or do anything. So Miller's my dad's name. He got really angry when he first saw that I changed my last name to
Yeah.
Miller, because Serbian men are pretty proud of their last names and stuff. And yeah, he was really angry.
So is it officially changed or?
No. It's like Andy Millar's just like my persona now. Yeah, international man of mystery. Now no one really knows who I am, so it's good. But I put an A in there just to be pretentious.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just
Why not?
It's just like you got to do something to set you apart being a musician. So
100%.
little bit of pretentious name spelling.
Yep. I like to start off with something you're grateful for.
Oh snap! Man, I just think every day with gratitude. What am I grateful for today? I can't remember what I wrote this morning. I journal with this every day. Man, honestly, I think books. Actually, today was a big one. Yeah, and I'm pretty into this thing at the moment called Stoicism, and just sort of accepting sort of things for what they are, not the emotional side of it. So there's a book at the moment that I'm reading called Stillness is the Key. So I don't know, just
Is that by, who's that? Ben Holiday?
Ryan Holiday.
Ryan Holiday?
Yeah, man. So the Daily Stoic, do the runs that page. So I've read, he's got the 3 books. So Ego is the Enemy, The Obstacle is the Way, and Stillness is the Key. And I've read them all a few times. And man, they do a lot to sort of just, I guess, reshape what's going on in my head and accept it for what it is, not, dealing with the emotional pitfall. So yeah, definitely books today I'm pretty grateful for.
Were you always a reader or you only just recently got into it?
I always read. To be fair, now I find myself pretty time poor, so I'm super, I love audiobooks. Like Audible's probably the best $16 a month I spend. So the audiobooks, even driving here, everywhere I go now, everyone hates it. So I do 2 things. I listen to CrossFit podcasts or I listen to an audiobook. Ironically, as someone that used to be a musician, I hate listening to music when I drive
really?
now. But yeah, everyone thinks it's super weird that I don't listen to music, or either that or I just listen to nothing. So yeah, audiobooks I love. I hated learning until I was 24, 25 years old maybe. I was a late bloomer there, but someone told me that was normal, so it made me feel better about that.
Yeah, well, I only really recently started reading 2 years ago, so what, 2022?
Yeah.
So still recent. Podcast, read. I do audiobooks too.
Yeah, man.
So
Look, you got pretty dope books sitting on the front
that
of
was
the
a
bed.
fucking good book.
Yeah, man. I was reading something the other day. It was you read 20 minutes a day and you get through 10 to 20 books a year, which is actually crazy. So plus it puts me to sleep. I'm getting old, so my brain doesn't work as well as it used to. No. So if I read before bed, I fall asleep real quick.
Yeah, I feel the same too. But then I don't feel like I consume it. So I try to read in the morning when I'm kind of...
Yeah. I listen to audiobooks now while I sleep because, I don't know, maybe.
So while you sleep, do you consume it?
Yeah, bro. I don't know. It feels like I do sometimes. I wouldn't listen to a new audiobook while I was sleeping, but I can't remember the author's name. James something. His book could not a life coach, not a diet book.
Oh, James Smith.
James Smith, yeah. And I was reading one of his books actually, not a life coach, I think it was, about just your brain and retention through sleep and stuff as well. But I have tinnitus. Was born deaf in my right ear. So when I was doing music and stuff as well and using in-ears and stuff like that and playing music real loud, I do tinnitus in my left ear because I only have the one ear to hear out of. So I get this constant ringing noise in my ear. So going to bed with nothing can sometimes it's fine, you don't notice it. Sometimes it's there's a siren going off in your head, which is pretty brutal. So just listening to an audiobook gets rid of that. And then I don't know if it makes me smarter or not, but I tell myself it does.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
There's some weird people that can just like sleep and consume knowledge.
Bro, yeah. Placebo. I don't care if it's placebo. If I think I'm smarter from it, then that's cool.
There was some guy at TAFE, he would just sleep through all his classes and then just pass everything.
Bro, I'm pretty sure that's what happened to me at school. I got pretty good grades and I paid zero attention and slept a lot. So I worked full time for my last 2 years as well as doing high school.
Shit.
So I slept through high school a lot. I tried to drop out, but my school wouldn't let me. So shout out to Mr. Ledbetter if you're listening. Yeah, it wouldn't let me drop out of school. He put me through meetings for like 2 weeks and was just knew I'd get like bored of the meetings and be like, cool, can I just go back to class now? Whatever. Yeah, so I moved out of home when I was like 16 at first, so I worked like full time and did school, which was fun.
And you're originally from Gold Coast, you said, or?
So I spent most of my life in Queensland. Yeah, I've sort of I've been here, there, and everywhere. I lived in Papua New Guinea for a short time as well when I was a kid. I don't remember too much of it, but it was crazy that I met, just walking down the street, I met the nanny that I had when I was a kid. She thought I was my dad. I look like an albino version of my father. Like, he looks full Serbian, like tanned and everything.
Yeah.
So is my sister. My mother's Irish, so I got the recessive genes.
Yeah.
It's not fun. I get sunburnt really easy, and the rest of my family doesn't. That's why I have so many tattoos, so no one knows how white I am.
Yeah.
No one knows how white I am. But yeah, I ran into my nanny when I was like, I don't know how many years ago it was. It was super weird, but she just was like, Miller, and I was like, that's my dad's name, bro. Do you know my dad? Which was super weird. But yeah, so most of my life in Brisbane, then the Gold Coast. Don't hold it against me. That's why I wear clothes with holes in them.
That's all right. No judgment. No judgment.
Crappy tattoos and lots of holes in my clothes.
That's all right. How the fuck did you end up where you are now in New South Wales? Why would you want to leave Queensland?
Honest answer, I came to visit a friend and for work. So the guy I work with now, his name's Connor Sizer. Is one of my best mates, probably one of the best people I know. Good dude, helped me through a lot. One of those people that annoyingly never gives up on you, and you love him for that. But sometimes you wonder why.
I guess he would have put up some shit along
Put up some shit from me, yeah, fuck, 100%, man. I feel really bad for it sometimes. I cop it from other people from time to time now as I try to be a better person moving forward. And there are instances where I just go and apologize to him randomly because I've noticed something that someone else does and it pisses me right off. And I was like, I bet I did that same thing. I'm so sorry, Connor. But no, I was working on the Gold Coast and I came here to spend sort of 2 weeks working with Connor and doing what he was doing and just stayed, which was really annoying. So the first 6 months of me living here in New South Wales, which out in Wollongong, I had like a week's worth of clothes and slept on the couch and then bought a bed off Facebook for $50. But we lived right next to Wind Stadium on the beach, so I mean,
nice.
Shitty compromise there, really. Yeah. So I moved from the Gold Coast to Wollongong. It wasn't that much different.
No.
Just less douchebags.
True.
Less fear of being stabbed and less dumb shit on my part. The Gold Coast was pretty, Gold Coast was a pretty toxic place for me. Like, I did a lot of stupid shit. Was friends with some pretty rough people. Did a lot of dumb shit. Probably pissed off a lot of people that I shouldn't have. And just wasn't a super good person. So moved to New South Wales. Hopefully made me better. I hope. Maybe. Work in progress.
Well, from what I've heard, you seem like you're in a way better spot.
I appreciate it, man.
Now, you used to be a musician. Mm-hmm. How did you get into that?
I don't remember. I've always been really good at singing. Never had any sort of lessons or anything like that. Just, weird God-given talent. Which is weird because everyone else in my family is proper tone deaf, so no idea where that came from. I might actually be adopted, who knows. I do look like an albino version of my father, so I maybe not. But music, I was managing, I was at university. I did an arts degree because I just wanted to waste money.
Don't we all? I did the same thing.
Oh, bro, hex that. It's not my favorite
I
thing.
went to uni for a year and a half, and I was like, why the fuck am I here?
Yeah, bro. I didn't finish. I stayed there till I nearly finished. I think I have 3 months left of uni and then left. Yeah, man, it makes paying off the debt like 10 million times worse.
Yeah.
And then I think about finishing it, but then, yeah, I don't know what an arts degree is going to get me. The business side of the arts degree might help. Who knows? But yeah, no, I think I was managing a musician at the time, and he was playing at a venue, and a guy called Justin Kong. It was a place called Our Place. It was in the Valley in Brisbane, which isn't there anymore, sadly. But yeah, he dared me to get up and sing a song. Don't know why. Don't know how it happened. And yeah, liked me, and then wanted to book the two of us, and then from there, just the whole lot of right place at the right time. The guy called Blake Sabrata, who ran a different club as well, he really encouraged me to do a lot of music stuff. He's a really, really good friend of mine. Again, he's one of those annoying people that is always super positive and always really in your corner, even if you're not. Me and Blake, we don't talk to each other too much, but every now and again, he just pops up and tells me to put a fire under my ass and do something cool. So I love that dude. And Claire Fabry. I don't know who Claire's going under at the moment. I'm going to quickly check. I want to give her a shout out because she's super cool. I have a name tattooed on my ass, because I lost a bet to her.
Yes, this guy loves losing bets.
So Clara Fable, she's going by now. So it was Claire Fabry at the time, which is why I have Claire Fabry on my ass, not Clara Fable. But yeah, we used to do a lot of gigs here on a Sunday at a place called Capulet. It was super fun. And then I also got to do music with one of my best friends and probably one of the people who, put me on the path to want to be a better person when I came down here. His name was Levi Thompson. So DJ Method, unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago from a motorcycle accident. And I think that catalyst there of especially him sort of passing away was a big one for me to not do more, to start to make my life better. But my company, like I named my company, my team, Method Marketing. It's sort of memory of him, and he was someone that, again, even at my lowest, was super supportive and always inspired me to do better and do more, and be super cliche and do the whole reach for the stars thing.
Yeah.
Siri's listening to us. So now, but yeah, I sort of left music behind, and now I struggle to pick up a guitar and play music anymore, ironically.
It's like that, isn't it? Like, I used to play footy, like semi-professional level, and now I don't play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even watch it anymore.
Yeah, man. I don't know. That's like, I've got a few friends that have similar boats, like especially with sports and stuff. They can't watch it, they can't look at it. Like for music, for me, I don't think there's probably an element of that to it, but I just didn't like the person I was when I was playing music, especially at the sort of peak there. Like I would use people, I would do anything I could to sort of, get myself on top, and I didn't really care who I hurt along the way. And I'm just not about that, especially now. I really wasn't then either, but you just thought that's what you sort of had to do. Just obviously it just isn't the case. It's just the easy way out. But yeah, it makes me sort of, I get proper depressed trying to like write music or picking up a guitar. Like we recently just sort of had one of our offices like broken into, and my guitar was stolen from the office, and like you're sad at first, and then there's like, it's a sense of relief because no one's going to ask you to play it anymore or do anything like that. So yeah, it's super weird. I don't really know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's weird how that shit works. So go back, the passing of your mate, would you say it was a bit of a turning point into, I guess, realizing, wow, life's too short. I kind of
eventually
do better.
Eventually,
yeah.
it is definitely like a huge motivator and a huge driving force for me now. When it happened, I think it probably threw me off the rails a little bit more.
Yeah, just to cope with it.
Like I've lost people, like lost friends before, but that one was. I think there's a lot of guilt because I hadn't spoken to him in a while. I'd only sort of recently just moved to New South Wales, and I kind of just cut off a whole lot of people in Queensland just because I wanted to get my head right and get where I was with that. And then, you know, all of a sudden he sort of wasn't there anymore, and we hadn't had an opportunity to sort of catch up. It was so yeah, it's kind of like a paid for reminder, I guess. So it's sort of I think I used it as an excuse to allow myself to go off the bandwagon more than anything. And then I sort of moved down here to Penrith at the end of that sort of year, and decided to sort of do something to not use it as an excuse, and not use anything, not just purely that, but you know, anything as an excuse, and to start do something better, start to make a change, start to do something to help other people, help yourself, and actually be a solid influence in someone's life instead of using all the bad shit and being a victim and blaming everyone else for your lot in life, instead of like, cool, fuck, okay, I have the capability to go out there and change stuff. I'm going to do that. Not just wait for someone to come feel sorry for me and give me an opportunity because they think I'm cool. That shit's just not going to happen. And it sucks because it's kind of how I got my success with music. I was just right place, right time. I didn't really work that hard for it. Whereas, and I think that's maybe why I resent it a lot as well. I mean, my father, my mother, like they're two of the hardest working people I know. I've always, and I still do have much to my, I think my detriment a lot of the time is that I have to make shit as hard as possible. I hate that I do it, but it is something like for me to get the satisfaction I feel I need out of something. I find the hardest route possible to do it. And I don't know sort of where that comes from, or if it's like a showing off thing or whatever, but sort of going off on a weird tangent, but yeah, I think that I dealing with his death, I found the hardest way possible to do it, or the most destructive way to deal with it. And I use that as an excuse, and I miss him a lot, but on the same token as well, I don't think either of us would be proud of how I used his sort of memory to allow myself to dip further down the line there, you know, as well, and ever use that as an excuse. I don't think anyone should ever do that.
Yeah. So who were you prior? You obviously said you're a douchebag, trying to drag people down to get to the top.
Yep.
Were you drinking heavily at that time as well? Or?
Yeah, very, like 5-6 nights a week. We go out and sort of, spend a lot of money, drink a lot of alcohol.
Lose a lot of bets.
Lose a lot of bets. Get a lot of drunken tattoos. Like stuff that there's a lot of good memories there. There's also a lot of, there's a lot of bad memories with that sort of stuff too. And then there's a lot of I don't remember. Like even now, like I'm not completely off the bandwagon. I'm completely sort of on the no alcohol bandwagon, although every time I do consume it, I lean more towards living like a totally sober life. But I black out all the time now and just don't remember. So I'm not really sure what that comes from excess drinking for my entire life. I don't know. But yeah, excuse me, there's just huge chunks of stuff I don't remember for someone that's nearly 30 years old. I struggle to remember. I can remember a lot pre-18.
Yeah.
Post sort of 18 to 28, 29, not as much.
Shit, and that's a big chunk too.
Yeah, there are bits and pieces, but that's a lot of the stuff from there. I sort of, But on that same token, the tough thing is I don't think anyone should ever brag about this, but I was pretty highly functioning with it. Not like I think a lot of people would know that I had a problem with a lot of stuff. I don't think a lot of people would know the extent to which I did have a problem.
You're good at hiding it?
100%, yeah. And just lucky. Fuck, like really lucky. Um, and then there's, yeah, just really lucky with all of that stuff, really, yeah.
If from memory, what is some of the dumbest shit that you've done, and you look back now and you go, "Wow, I was a dickhead."
Oh, so the biggest one I remember was I was 18 years old. And I had just got home. When I was 18, my sister used to come out. I still lived at home. I moved back home at the time. My sister used to come outside every night at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and search for me in the garden, because I would usually pass out in the garden. It was one night when I got home and I think I'd broken up with a girlfriend at the time or something, and she'd ran off down the street and I just drunkenly sort of ran after her. I was just running around without a shirt on through my neighborhood. And I remember my mum and my mate at the time sort of driving around trying to get me sort of back in the car and back home and not doing something stupid there. There's so many dumb things that I've done while sober. Like 18 million tattoos. Like, again, tattoos on my hands. You would have just asked me before. I have no idea what any of them mean because I was drunk when I got them. I mean, there's funny ones like that don't sort of bother me too much, and then there's sort of nights where I used to get in a lot of fights when I would drink as well, and there's plenty of times where I've been arrested for fighting and doing stuff there, and yeah, been knocked out my fair share of times, knocked my fair share of people out, and I think that one's the one I'm least proud of because that's. Especially when sort of drunk, it takes landing the wrong way or hitting the wrong person, and you've sort of killed someone or done something you can't really take back there as well. So there's a pretty huge multitude. I think that list of I mean, getting arrested in a foreign country was probably on the list of. I don't remember what I did, but I know I got arrested in Bali when I was there. I think I got arrested a few times.
It could have ended bad.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if I'm going to leave it back to the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
What'd you do?
I don't remember. I don't know. I'm a fairly large human, and
Yeah.
Balinese people, I guess, are not. So I'm pretty sure I got in a fight with a police officer. It was substantially smaller than me. Which in the
That
country
never ends well.
Look, it doesn't end well anywhere, but
No.
I guess in a country like Bali,
But they don't give a shit.
I guess it could have ended a lot worse than it did, so I was pretty lucky there. Yeah.
Fuck. How do you now control drinking? Or when did you realize, fuck, this is a problem, I gotta make a change?
Still is.
Yeah.
It's an active problem. How do I control it? I don't. It's really bad. Like, I have to actively avoid certain people. I have to actively avoid certain situations. And if I don't avoid those situations, then if I have more than 3 drinks, then I know that
You're going to continue.
Yeah, there will be, and there will be no stopping me. There will be, I call it the alter ego, Randy. Randy comes out, and it's, if I look back to all the bad things that have happened to my life, alcohol has been present. There are very few bad decisions or bad things that have happened in my life that I've caused that have been of my fault that alcohol hasn't been present for. And it's tough. Like, my job, I'm still young. I have friends that love to go out drinking still and have a beer, and they're just much, much better at doing it in moderation than I am there. There's a few people and most of the time I'm pretty good. Like, most of the time I can go out and just have a few and go home. But if you get like a certain group of people together or a lot of friends, or it's a pretty rowdy one, I try to avoid not going, but then I have a pretty rubber arm with it, especially with right friends, and I get guilted into going, I think, a lot of the time pretty easy as well. So yeah, it's day by day, do my best to do it. I've been to like Alcoholics Anonymous meetings before. There's a book that I find really helpful for it as well. Oh my God, no, I can't remember the name of it. This State of Mind or This Kind of Mind. It's just a book of just reshaping, like, I guess, your relationship with alcohol and stuff there as well. For me, I think I just use it as an escape, which, probably not a good thing.
No. And obviously, it's good that you're at least admitting that you have a problem.
Yeah.
Some people just go, no, I don't have a problem. And just continue.
100%. Yeah, I'm pretty on I'm pretty on top of it most of the time. I mean, I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes, and I accept that. I'm never proud of myself when I do it, but that it is what it is. I'm never going to be perfect. Doing staying stuff like CrossFit for me and fitness is a huge one for me, especially when I have like a mentality of I'm wanting to compete and do stuff there as well. I'm pretty good when I have that goal set in mind, and that's a big one for me, having goals and motivations and stuff moving forward. It's like, cool, okay, well, alcohol is in no way, shape or form going to help my fitness and my ability to win this competition, because if I'm doing a competition or I'm going out to do something, I'm going there to do my best to win it. And I want to put myself in the best position to be able to do that with work. When I have goals with work, it's like, cool. And now that I have guys at work with me and underneath me, I don't like using the term underneath it. Like, for me, it's more like we work together. It is a team and a collective more than anything. But those guys are a huge motivator for me to, not go fuck up and make mistakes and do what I do, because even though I don't like to look at myself as a leader so much, if I set that standard, then for them it's acceptable for them to do it. And last thing I want to do is see people make the same mistakes as I did, and 30 years old and feel like you're not good enough all the time, or have this self-destructive thing where, like, for me, and I still do this now, I have this self-destructive thing where if I start to do really, really well in my life and I start to think, fuck, you don't deserve this, and I will actively go out of my way to start destroying relationships and, where I am with that for no reason more than anything. So that's why I'm grateful for guys like Connor who, recognize that and go, cool, I'm not going to let you do that. But at the same token, if you don't get on the top of that yourself, those people are only going to stick around for so long. And you can't expect anyone to do that for their whole life. So that's the motivator for me to try and do better with it. And every time I do get a little bit better, if you looked at me now compared to even a year ago, 10 million times more progress to where we were with that. And it's just a process, and I think just accepting that it is a process, and that I'm going to make mistakes, not putting so much pressure on myself that when I do make those mistakes, I want to give up. Now it's like, okay, cool. Like, I've made the mistake. Awesome. I know how quickly I can bounce back from this time. Let's go do that and still living my life. I don't want to allow anything to allow me an opportunity to miss out on living my life to the fullest and the potential that I want to live it. So kind of like, I guess the double-edged answer to that question is, yeah, it's a work in progress. That's how I stay on top of it. And keep setting goals. If you mess up, cool, set a new goal, start again. I think the chasing of the goal is the most exciting part for me, not so much hitting it. So I try to make them pretty difficult, but not so difficult that I know I can't do it.
100%, yeah. It's the journey, really.
Yeah, and just, I mean, the alphabet is A to Z. You can't just jump from one end to the other. You got to enjoy the process and go through the words and the letters there. So that's the thing for me. I think the last time I spoke about this, I was doing a lot better. Like, even for me now, like, I mean, there's stuff with mental health and depression, and sometimes I just get sad for no reason and think the whole world is out to get me, and it's like, there's absolutely no reason for it. And it's frustrating because you sit there and you're like, I know there's no reason to feel like this right now. I know everyone's not out to get me. I know everyone might not love me, but no one's out to get me, you know?
It's these scenarios that you just make up in your head and you're like, fuck, everyone's against me, but really it's just you against
Bro,
you.
and it's crazy because, I mean, it's like your brain just can't tell between what's real and what's fake. So, I don't know. I got a pretty vivid imagination, and it convinces me that it's real, and then I have to really sort of work to go, nah, that's not what it is. And even if it is what it is, who cares? Like, this is the end goal for what we're doing that too. But there's a whole journey with. There's so many pieces to the puzzle.
I like that you mentioned that, like, your brain doesn't know what's real. And it's true, like, when you use it in a positive way and you're like, fuck, I can do this, I can do this.
Yeah, man.
Bro, it's amazing what you can achieve.
But it's 100% true. Your brain can literally not tell what is real.
That's why
and
when
what
you're
is fake.
dreaming, like, you think, oh, fuck, I'm getting stabbed or whatever.
Yeah, man.
And you wake up and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm fine. But your body doesn't know that.
Yeah, I think for me, like, the annoying thing is when that stuff sort of happens to me, I'm really aware that it's not real. And so much so, but sometimes it just feels nice to feel sorry for yourself. Like, and as shit as the thing is that is to say, and as shit as the thing is it to want to feel like a victim, sometimes it feels good.
It's easy.
Yeah, 100%. It's way easier than taking accountability. It's way easier than getting out there and going, okay, shit, I got to make some hard choices right now and do some of this stuff that I don't want to do. And look, that's okay. It's okay to sometimes just feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
Anyone that tells you shouldn't ever do that, like, tell them to fuck right off. Who cares? It's your life. Do what you do. What's going to benefit you? No, don't stick and do it forever. Then it becomes an issue. But man, like, I just have days where I just don't get out of bed sometimes. There was a guy like Dennis Hogan, the championship boxer. If you're familiar, someone I'm really sort of lucky to know, and that I'm lucky enough to have gotten a lot of advice off. But then, for someone like me, when I get depressed, and Dennis put it this way, and I think about this all the time, when I get depressed, deep rest, it just means deep rest. And I just have days where I just will not get out of bed and I'll just sleep. And there was a time when I felt really shit and really bad about that because I wasn't getting the most out of my day. But if what I need for that day is rest and to not talk to people and to emotionally, mentally, and physically allow my body to recover, then cool, that's okay. Every individual is different. Much like every individual's perception of something is completely different. It's not my place to tell someone they're more depressed or less depressed than I am, or have more of an issue or less of an issue with alcohol than I do. The individual, how that individual perceives that problem, that's what they've got to work through. Everyone else's opinion in that kind of just doesn't matter.
Everyone has different perceptions of what's happening around them.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, some people can push through that barrier. Some people just need to take a step back and reset, and then they can keep going. But
100%. Some people have lived a really, really good life and haven't had to deal with much, and so something small is huge. Some people live a shit life and have to go through that every single day. So for them, it's like, whatever. Either way, it doesn't make it better or worse. And I think people taking a step back and realizing that everyone's on their own individual journey with that sort of stuff, it makes it a whole lot easier to accept that there is a process, that there is a journey to it, and to be a part of that journey, and a positive part of that journey instead of a negative part of that journey. I've had so many people that have tried to help in a positive way that have ended up being 10 times more negative because they failed to realize that that doesn't work for me, or that's not how I look at that issue, or, I can talk about even me and Connor, for example, he's probably someone that I talk to a lot, and I respect his opinion heaps, or even my mate Nick. But you look at that and sometimes it's like, people want you to figure out and draw out the answer for yourself, and then sometimes they're just like, fuck, tell me what the answer is so I can just keep going and moving forward. Sometimes I don't care about doing that. If you've got the answer there, just tell me what it is. And it's being able to sort of differentiate when someone needs one or the other is impossible.
It's understanding human psychology and what works.
Man, way smarter people than me.
It's
that's
just like
for
the
sure.
school system and teachers, they teach every student the same, when all different students learn different ways.
Yeah, and that blanket approach just doesn't work.
No.
Especially with something with depression or substance abuse or whatever it may be, and I think a lot of people friends and family that want to help with a lot of stuff like that, I think, is also the understanding that they're not medical professionals.
No, they mean the best, but
100%,
they don't know really how to deal with it.
Yeah, man. So much so that I stopped talking to a lot of people about how I was feeling about a lot of things because they would get frustrated with how I would respond to it. And for me to look at that and go, shit, I don't like that I had that kind of effect on someone, so cool, I'll just internalize it and deal with it myself in my own way. I mean, I'm someone that is relatively capable of doing that. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that approach to anyone given the opportunity to not do it. I mean, it's super weird. Like I say, I'm really capable of doing it. The last 3 weeks, I get these random, like, super bad anxiety attacks. Like my whole body shuts down. Um, like for me, what happens is my heart beats really, 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 really fast. What feels like it's beating really, really fast. But it feels like every part of your body, I don't know, weighs like 200 kilos. Feels like gravity's been switched off. It's absolutely crazy. And they don't last for too long. I'm really big on like meditation and doing stuff. So for me, I have things that I know I can do to sort of get myself out of that rut. But on that same token, I know when that happens, it's probably getting to the end of that box filling up with shit you need to deal with. And I need to take a step back and go, all right, cool. Let's unpack this box a little bit to make a little bit more room for all the other sort of stuff that needs to go back in there eventually as well.
Yeah. I can totally relate to that as well. Like when I get anxiety, like, because like I'm natural introvert, right? So when I go to talk to people, even like a year ago,
Yep.
like I was way worse. If I was put in a new environment, my body would just like shut down.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd get really tired and I'm fatigued. And I was like, fuck, I can't do this. But then as soon as I do it, I come alive again because my body's like, oh, fuck, I can do this.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. I think I'm super, like, I love to be the center of attention was the other weird thing, but I also hate it.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. That's
See,
another.
when I drink, I love to be center of attention.
Yeah, bro.
But that's not who I am, so I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
I become someone that I'm not.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that.
I can totally relate to that. Yeah. It's, I think the stuff I say, the stuff I do, there are bits of it that I think the inhibition is taken away. But no, I would agree completely that the reason I hate drinking and sort of why I said sort of before that I get closer and closer to like a pretty much like completely sober life is I hate that person. Like they call him Randy because I go cool. Like I take no responsibility for him.
Yeah.
For people that go, I want to go out drinking tonight. It's like, man, you know how I'm gonna get. And they're like, yeah, it's cool. It's like, bro, cool. I'm taking no responsibility for what happens then.
It's all on Randy.
Yeah, which is a horrible thing to say I'll do, but that's the only way that I sort of can cope and deal with that. But then on the same token, I think about stuff. Like not to constantly talk about CrossFit, but there's a guy, obviously Matt Fraser, 5 times CrossFit champion, and he talks about there was something I was watching a documentary about him not too long ago, probably about a year ago now.
He's a fucking weapon, eh?
Yeah, actually, a freak of human. Yeah, but in that podcast, obviously he's totally sober, and the one that sort of rings with me that is that life without alcohol it's just life, and through. I think about that and I think about experiences with, like where I go out drinking or I do stuff as well. It's like, well, how much of that am I missing out on because I'm, totally buzzed and missing out on those connections and those opportunities and those cool things that might have happened if I was just sort of sober there and I actually could remember and enjoy the experience with that too. So, I mean, that sort of stuff sticks with me about whether I, go totally sober in my life. But on the same token, especially here in Australia, we have this culture of to have fun, we've got to drink.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I hate that. Especially in Australia, you can't go out without drinking. Like, why can't you just go out and have dinner or whatever?
Man, yeah.
Why does it have to be drinks involved?
Yeah, I cannot remember the last time. And it sucks because I will actively say no to things that I would like to go to because I know. I feel, even though I know people probably won't do it, but I'll still feel socially pressured even if someone doesn't ask you to drink, to go drink. But yeah, there has not been an instance where I've been out with friends that I can recall, period, that has not involved alcohol. We went bowling the other week and got beer still. You know what I mean? It's like, man, that's like a family fun day sort of thing. There was still alcohol involved in it.
And it's like looked down upon if you have water.
Yeah, man, it's weird. I got sick of answering the question, why aren't you drinking? it was easier just to have a drink. I went through a phase where I would put water in a empty beer bottle, so people wouldn't ask me.
That's smart.
Yeah, until they cottoned on to it. I was just constantly go to the toilet and fill up my beer bottle with water, so no one would realize I wasn't drinking.
And then they realized, where's Randy?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, 100%. But it sucks that you have to go to a level like that to sort of feel involved. But I get horrible FOMO from it too, man. I fucking hate drinking, and I hate hangovers, and I hate what I do while I drink. But I hate not feeling involved more. And it's the weirdest thing ever, because again, I also hate being around people all the time. Like, I will comfortably just hang out by myself.
It's weird. Like, we're social creatures at one level, and the next we're like, fuck off.
And extroverted introvert is how I put it, man. Like, I'm quite happy spending my entire weekend at the gym and at home, not seeing anyone.
Yeah.
There are times, in fact, where I have to force myself to go out and talk to people, because I'm like, man, you're getting super antisocial right now. This is not cool. But then on the same token, I love being out and being, absolutely batshit crazy. And yeah, I get FOMO if I see other people doing it. So even if I might start off my night really strong and be like, no, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing this, there usually comes a point where the FOMO kicks in. I'm like, oh man, I'm missing out on all the fun stuff right now. Even though in my head I know it's like, you're going to hate yourself for doing this tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's super weird. Extroverted introvert. I've coined it.
Yeah, it's fucked. Now, you've had your battles of mental illness. Do you want to kind of touch on that? How bad did it get? Was it the result of drinking and all the build up, or?
No idea. Probably definitely didn't help.
And drinking probably masked it a lot too, or?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I think a lot of, and again, like I said before, like, there are times where even 2 weeks ago, I would just have a moment, and like, I'm really good at my job sometimes, like even working in sales, because I go like full Michael Jordan with stuff, and I'll just convince myself that someone hates me, and I'll use it as like this really sort of negative motivation and
get
passion.
Shit done though.
Yeah, and go fucking flog people. Again, Connor's one that knows, like, I just won't talk to him for a few days, and he knows that I'm mentally...
You're just creating this story in your
head. This whole thing about him being a total prick and that I hate him. He's done nothing. He's like the nicest person on the face of the planet. He's always there to support me. But then sometimes it's just like, fuck this, I hate everyone. Bam. And then go do really well at my job. But you get shit done for short periods of time. But yeah, then I have sort of bouts of stuff where I just get really sad. Like, there's no reason to be really sad. The anxiety sort of trips up. I think for me at the moment, I've got some injuries that have stopped me training the way I want to train, I guess. It definitely hasn't stopped me training, period. There are ways I could train if I wanted to, but I get stubborn and stuck in my own ways. I'm like, cool, I want to lift some heavy shit, which is what can potentially cause injuries in the first place. Like, this one for me is like it's an old injury that has flared up again, probably because I didn't take enough.
Didn't go to the doctor, mate.
Yeah, well, that definitely doesn't help. I'm seeing a physio now. That's a big step for me. Yeah, doctors for pussies, man.
I agree.
Look, just too old to. I'm starting to get too old to heal on my own.
I believe unless you're dying, then you should go to the doctors.
Look, honestly, yeah, I think there was a phase where I probably literally was dying and I still refused to go to a doctor. I had pneumonia at one stage and refused to go to a doctor for a couple of days, yeah.
You're just a tough cunt, aren't you?
I'm just stubborn. I hate hospitals. Yeah. I spent a lot of time in there when I was a kid because I did a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah.
So...
I don't blame you. They're depressing places.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I mean, the depression, like, it comes and goes. I have a job that can be pretty high stress, but I love that about it. Whether it's helpful or not, I don't know. But yeah, the depression's got pretty bad. I mean, I have moments all the time where I think it would be better if I just wasn't around sometimes. Not that... And when I say not around, it's like not necessarily like suicidal, but just more like, cool, I would go get a cabin in the woods and never talk to anyone again, and I'd be pretty happy with that too.
I think everyone has those thoughts.
Bro,
I have them quite regularly.
man, all I want, I mean, this goal in my head at the moment is all I want is like a little shack with a huge shed that I can turn into a gym, and that's just my goal at the moment. In the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to tell anyone where it is.
I want to buy a van, deck it out, and just fucking drive around everywhere.
A guy that wants to do that at the moment as well. But yeah, I don't know. It's, again, I feel like even with the depression, I'm pretty highly functioning with it. Yeah. I think on that token, I don't. I have spoken to people in the past, and it has been quite helpful, but I don't spend a lot of my time talking and thinking about that stuff. I think gym's probably the best thing. Like, CrossFit has probably been the best thing. I had a full mental breakdown during COVID last year. I thought I was really comfortable. Like, I also just haven't taken a day off in, I think, like, or taken holidays in like 5-6 years. I hate doing it. I hate sitting still. I hate doing nothing, especially for long periods of time. So, like, COVID last year, I had 3 months, and I was like, oh man, I was living in this tiny little granny flat. I just got to Penrith. I was living in this tiny little granny flat. Didn't even have a kitchen. And I was like, I can't work. And I was like, I deliberately picked this like shitty place to live so that I'd just spend all my time at work and smash and do well. I didn't want to look forward to coming home. And then that sort of backfired real bad on me when I was like, oh shit, I got nothing for 3 months here. This sucks ass.
Fucking Uber Eats every day.
Bro, it's it's a lot of I did a lot of like makeshift. This is before I sort of properly started doing CrossFit, so I tried to teach myself CrossFit during COVID and didn't. I had lots of buckets full of water. That was about it.
How'd you come across CrossFit anyway? Like, what got you interested in it?
I've always done like functional training. There's a guy, when I was on the Gold Coast, I was living in a place, training at a place called Never Quit. A guy called Nathan Cooper, who's an absolute legend. And that was sort of similar to sort of CrossFit training, not really CrossFit training, but more functional stuff as well. I did bodybuilding for a little while there, unsuccessfully. A, because I hate training by myself, and B, I hate measuring things, and patience is not my virtue. So that was not really the life for me. But I was on the Gold Coast, so that's kind of like if you do any training, that's sort of the training you do.
Fuck, that's all it is up there. It's like bodybuilding.
Steroids and bodybuilding, man.
Bodybuilding, drugs, alcohol, all that shit.
Yeah, man, it's ridiculous.
Fake tan.
Yeah. So awesome, but so shit at the same time. Like, I love it, but I hate it. I think the Gold Coast is a pretty cool place to live because it's so fake that you feel like you can just blend in. So even if you like, with something like depression, it was the best place to sort of be because no one knew who you were. No one cared who you were.
Put this persona on, but who the fuck you want, eh?
No one would question it, give a fuck about it. And I think I got lost in that for a pretty long time as well. I still question whether I know who I am as a person or whether I've just, again, done all this shit in my head to convince myself that I am this other person.
But the thing is, do we ever know who we are? Like, we're constantly evolving and growing.
Man, my life is one constant juxtaposition, man. Like, again, like an extroverted, introvert, like all that shit. I'm like, fuck, I don't know. It's like, again, your brain doesn't know what's real, what's fake. What have I just convinced myself?
Just gonna go along for the fucking ride, eh?
Yeah, man. Like, when am I gonna lose it? Cool. All right, let's have some fun before I snap. Go full Joker with it. Who knows? But the Gold Coast was cool for that. But I totally forgot where we were at. The worst of this.
Getting into CrossFit.
CrossFit, yeah. See, good tangents. That's the ADHD. Also undiagnosed, but pretty sure I have it.
Yeah.
Just use it to my advantage.
Why not?
But CrossFit. With training there, and then I don't really know how it happened, but Shane, my coach now, called me one day. I don't know if I accidentally called him or it was some sort of freak fate thing, but yeah, just after lockdown ended, his gym's around the corner from where I live now, and never looked back. So, I lost I got up to a point where I think the depression got pretty bad and the alcohol got pretty bad that I wasn't training or doing anything there as well. That I was sitting at 140 something
Wow.
kilos. I don't even remember the exact number now. I was a big boy. And I lost a bit of weight initially before CrossFit. I mean, now I'm down to 105 kilos. So
That's good going, eh?
35 to 40 kilos down. And then, looking at training and doing competitions and stuff. And that's helped a lot. That makes you want to drink less too, weirdly. It's like feeling healthy and fit and having those goals. And the depression, again, isn't so bad when you're healthy and fit. Like, I notice now that if I don't train, especially for long periods of time, then my mentality will dip.
Yeah, I think
real quick.
I believe the biggest cure for mental illness and all that stuff is basically just looking after yourself, health and fitness.
Yeah, man. Like,
solve so much shit.
Yeah, even just the food I eat now. Like, Shane's been great for that. Like, I've always had, I used to be, I've worked. My dad was a chef, so I've worked in kitchens and stuff my whole life, and I had a pretty good idea about nutrition, just would ignore stuff, but like even not eating the right foods and stuff, man, I noticed a huge drastic change in mentality, and my ability to persevere and keep moving through stuff changes dramatically if my diet sucks, or if I'm eating a whole heap of fast food or stuff, or just shit. Like if I'm busy at work and I use the excuse of I don't have time to cook, and so I eat shit. Yeah, massively.
It's basically like that analogy of like, would you put the cheapest petrol in your Lamborghini? It's gonna run like shit.
yeah, actually, 100%.
You got to feed your body with high quality stuff, and your body's gonna perform at a high level.
Yeah, it just sucks. New South Wales, man, you guys pay a lot for groceries here.
I know, it is expensive.
It's so much. Like, I reckon my grocery bill here is like $100 a week more expensive than in Queensland.
Really?
Easily.
Fuck.
Easily, yeah. It's crazy. Cost of living in New South Wales sucks.
And it's sad when fast food's cheaper.
Bro, I need to sort that out. Like, it's cost of living.
It's even sadder when you go to Macca's, and I'm pretty sure a water is more expensive than Coke. Like a bottle of water.
Man,
it's fucked.
Yeah. That's a weird one. Why does water taste different when it's cold? Yeah, that's my brain. I don't know.
Some crazy shit.
Everyone else has to suffer. That one bugs me. Someone said that to me one time and it stuck with me for like 5 years. Why is water the only thing that tastes different when it's cold?
Yeah, fuck. I don't know. Get me thinking now. Don't know what's best though. What do you prefer?
Like warm or cold water?
Yeah.
Cold for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, I don't, it doesn't bother me.
No, I like
drinking cold. Like room temperature water is actually best for you.
Yeah. Look, I just struggle to drink as much water as I should throughout the day. That's just my goal.
I force myself. But then you being a bigger guy, like you would have to drink like 3.5, 4 liters.
Yeah, close to 4 liters a day.
Shit.
Yeah.
I drink 3 and I struggle sometimes.
Yeah. I just hate going to the toilet that many times too. It's super annoying.
It's the worst when you have to chug it all before bed. Because I make sure I get 3 liters in a day. And if I forget, if I drink it all before bed, I'm like up during the night multiple times. Like, fucking hell. It's the worst.
Yeah, man. To be fair, you do feel way better when you drink enough water.
What's your diet like now? Don't tell me you're chicken and fucking broccoli kind of guy.
So this is super funny. So like again, I can cook. I'm a very good chef, but I will try and just eat the most basic shit for myself because I don't have to impress myself, and I will happily live off chicken and broccoli. I don't mind it all.
Can you eat cold chicken and broccoli though?
Yeah, bro.
I have a mate that does. I'm like, fuck that.
I like cold food better than hot food. Yeah, I actually like cold food better than cold pizza is better than hot pizza. Cold food is better than hot food in my opinion.
Fucked up, mate. Get out.
Yeah, no, my diet it hasn't been great the last 2 weeks. It hasn't been bad. Like my not great diet now compared to my not great diet 2-3 years ago, like is still pretty good. Yeah. When I say it's not been great the last couple of weeks, like I haven't just been super conscious of what I'm eating. And I've been away for the last week for work, so it's a few limitations on what you can do
Makes
there.
it harder, yeah.
I'd say that I could probably just as easily eat the healthy stuff. I just choose not to. But typically my diet, I function off like 1,600 calories a day.
Really? And still maintain like
so
that weight?
Not too much. Well, I'm still 1,600 is still like a cutting
Yeah.
sort of weight for me.
You're still a big guy. Like, I'll just assume you'd need more than that.
Yeah, when like the last 2 weeks, I reckon I've been sitting on about 2,000 calories a day.
And how often do you train though?
Before my wrist injury, twice a day, 6 days a week. So probably 45 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes to an hour in the morning.
How were you functioning with that little food?
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, at 1,600 calories, clean is a lot still, I think. That got me down to like the 105 where I'm at now. And then I sort of scaled back a little bit to 2,000 for a little while. To 2,000, I think there was a couple of weeks there where I was sitting at probably closer to 2,500 a day. Just because I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, my diet's like, I eat, I'll either fast in the morning, depending on how I'm feeling and what sort of training I'm doing. Like if I'm going to go do CrossFit straight away, then I'll eat straight after that. But it depends on if I do like sort of strength training at night or like I do a lot of swimming stuff now as well, just good cardio. But yeah, it's a whole lot of chicken, a whole lot of veggies. And then I usually eat something bad throughout the day and fall off a bandwagon. Every now and again, so there's donuts or
It's good to have a bit of balance there.
Yeah, man, I just so I have a really horrible sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Ice cream is my most favourite thing. Halo Top ice cream, that stuff.
Tell you what I love? Vanilla ice cream with Milo on top.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Fucking bomb.
I'm not a chocolate guy, but I can respect that.
Yeah.
Man, Halo Top ice cream, I don't think I would have been able to sort of cut weight if that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but I don't know. I'm just not really a fan of it.
Look, just that's enough of a sweet tooth thing.
What flavour?
The peanut or the strawberry.
Yeah.
Peanut or strawberry every time. That's the best. I don't like chocolate. I'm weird. Yeah, I'm not a chocolate guy.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, like food's always been hard for me because I'm naturally a skinny guy.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to put on weight, I had to eat so much food and like force myself to eat.
I just have to look at it.
Yeah. And then like recently I've gone through a period where I lost 10 kilos maybe because I'm just too busy working or doing other shit. I can easily just forget about food.
I'm like, I was pretty bad. Like I can do the same thing where I just forget to eat. And you get, but then I'll compensate by that for eating like something shit, like going and getting Macca's or something I won't eat all day, which sucked. So I think where I put on a lot of weight initially because I wasn't eating like shitloads of food, but the food I was eating was not great. But yeah, like I can go, like when I go fast, like sometimes I just don't feel like eating. Like I hate eating in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I have to force myself to eat in the morning. It sucks. Like, bro, I would happily live off a liquid diet though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, eating is a huge inconvenience to me.
It is.
I don't enjoy it. Like short of going out and having a meal with friends, it's like, no, I would quite happily live off a liquid diet if that was a thing.
Just put a fucking IV in you.
If I could get a steak that tasted like a steak, but in a liquid form,
Yeah.
I would 100% do that.
They probably have made that.
I don't know. I'm going to figure it out and be a millionaire. That's my next goal.
Yeah. My body's fucked there. Like I can eat nothing or drink nothing, and because I do like big hikes and runs and like endurance stuff, and I've done a marathon with like 300 mils of water.
Yeah.
Like I can barely drink any water.
I don't get that. I don't understand how anyone does a marathon. Period. It's like
it's
running. I'm getting better at it. I'm learning to love it more, but it's so boring.
It is. I only got into it when COVID hit because gyms were closed. I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And then I met my mates who are into running and shit. So we did marathons. I'm about to do a 50K race in 5 weeks.
Ew. Okay. Kudos to you. Like, man, props to you.
I hate it. I hate every bit of it. But it's more so...
I don't think you could pay me to do that.
Yeah.
Even if I was fit enough to do that.
It's more so the mental challenge and maybe the sense of achievement when you actually get there.
Yeah.
But every single bit of it, I hate. I fucking hate it. I'm like, every 2 seconds, I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Man, I don't know. Like, I had some. I always used to use the excuse that my knees, because I had tendonitis through my knees, so it used to feel like little daggers stabbing into my kneecaps when I used to run. And then so I just never got it fixed, because that was my excuse to not run. Like, my knees used to dislocate all the time, and like I wouldn't even notice it. And then I got it fixed because I started doing CrossFit, and CrossFit's a sport for jerks, and there's a lot of running involved. So I had to learn how to run and do that. And now I just, like, I'm always satisfied. Like I can run. I think I can run like a 5. No, I think I'm running the 10K now. I haven't done the river run. Like, for someone that has lived in Penrith now for just shy of 3 years or 2 years. I don't know how long I've been here. I don't know how old I am most of the time. That's up to other people to know. I forget when my birthday is most of the time as well. It's really funny. But it's just so boring. I listen to the same song over and over again, though, so maybe that's my own doing. There's one song I have that I can, it's my theme song, I call it, that I can listen to when I'm running that gets me through it. Yeah, it's J. Cole's Get Off My Dick. It's great.
My mate have you heard of David Goggins?
Yes.
So there's this YouTube video or song on repeat, and it goes, "Who's gonna carry the boat?" or "Stop being a bitch" or something like that. It's just on repeat for 5 hours.
Yeah.
And my mate was showing us it, and we went onto his YouTube, and he was an hour into it. I'm like, what the fuck were you doing to be an hour into that?
Man, nah, I don't know. That dude's crazy too.
Yeah. Have you read his book?
No, it's on my list of things to read.
I've read it and listened to it. They're fucking, both versions are good, man.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, I think it's next on my list. I think Atomic Habits. Can't remember.
I've read that one. That's a good book too.
Yeah, that's my next one. And then I'll have to add that. I just finished The World's Fittest Book not too long ago. I read that one again. That's a good one. Yeah, I like the whole concept behind testing my mentality with doing running or swimming, but fuck that. No thanks.
Yeah, there comes a point like, who the fuck am I proving this to?
Yeah.
Like, it's good to prove it to yourself, but I guess there's a limit. Like, most people don't want to be David Goggins or those real hard cunts.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I'm nearly 30 years old. I'm never going to be like the fittest person on the face of the planet, or I don't know, probably even in the top 100 of that. So, like, fuck, yeah, I just don't want to run a marathon.
It's a good mentality to have, but it's not for everyone.
100%, man, for sure. I have mad respect for people that can do it.
100%. Yeah. Now, over, I guess, your years' experience of going through the ups and downs of life,
yep,
going through bad shit, losing bets, all that crap, what are some, I guess, life lessons you've taken out of all that?
Oh, man. I think for where I'm at now, it's probably one of the better spots I've ever been. Like, have you read any of the Ryan Holiday stuff?
No, they're on my list.
Yeah,
I'm interested in the whole Stoic stuff that you mentioned.
Stoicism, I think, has been a big one for me, and just accepting things for what they are, versus how you emotionally want them to feel. There's a really cool sort of like a mentality meeting that Connor ran with me, I think it was a year or two ago, that sort of stuck with me, and I think it aligns with it really well. But it's just about it. And again, it's like accepting the situation for what it is and taking the emotional pitfall out of it. You know, it's really easy to get overly emotional about something, or someone hurting your feelings, or someone doing wrong by you, and just accepting for the fact that yeah, they've done it, cool. Whether they've done it with malicious intent or not, who fucking cares? It's not going to help me either way to feel more emotional one way or the other about it. Cool, accept it. Like, I think for me, it's like, for someone that I guess I would perceive to be as confident as I am as well, I spent a really, really long time trying to get people to like me. Now I just don't care at all.
It's the best mindset to have when you just don't give a fuck, really.
Yeah, it was like,
I am who I am, and fuck, if you like me, you like me.
Yeah, as long as, like, I think it's like, for me, that I think that too many people use that as a cop out though to do shit things.
Yeah, as long as you're not being a douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, still be a good human, but if people don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah, bro. I mean, there's the Jason Momoa quote is like the man that's or the person that gets to a point of really not giving a fuck about what anyone else thinks is, that's reached a really dangerous point of awesome. And I'm still not perfect with that, but that's I think where I'm working to at the moment. I think that would be my biggest one is like, for me now, it's like cliche stuff, but like I'm super focused on trying to help people find the best version of themselves. To do that, I need to do the same thing for me and, actively go out every day and try and do those things to improve and to be better and to work and to want to do more. I mean, I got some pretty huge goals that I have set up. I mean, in the next sort of 5 years, I have a goal of wanting to sort of set up like, I guess you call it sort of like a wellness center where it's, a fitness center where we can sort of invite, corporate clients and stuff as well and create better working environments for people. I've worked in some really toxic work environments. I've worked in some really amazing work environments. Hopefully the one I create for sort of, my team and where we are, our work environment now is hopefully one of the better ones. I would hope, fingers crossed. I know it hasn't always been through, I think the learning process for me of learning the line of trying to help people be better versus being a dick and pushing too hard on people as well was a tough one. But I think the biggest lesson is just you're not perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. It's progression for me every day. Progress at something. Don't try to be perfect anymore. I think that's the big one now. And just goal setting, and I have goals: make $1 million, save $1 million, donate $1 million. I have simple goals along that process there as well. And I think people learning how to goal set properly is a huge one. I meet a lot of people that have a lot of really crazy cool goals in place, but I mean, first, when I talk to a lot of people, it's like, cool, I want to make $1 million. And it's like, well, cool, do you have the mentality or the work ethic or someone that is capable of doing that
people
first
think
and
it's
foremost?
Easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
100%. It's like, man, do you have the dedication to go out every day to sacrifice going to birthday parties and stuff to spend more time at work and do those things to build to that point? Because that's what those guys are fucking doing. That's like, there ain't nobody making $1 million overnight without putting a whole lot of fucking work in. So there's that one, but it's like, cool, what are your goals in the interim leading up to that? I mean, realistically, I'm not going to make $1 million tomorrow, this week, next week, probably the end of this year, the end of the next 5 years. So what are the goals you're going to have in between that? And what are you going to do to sort of keep you motivated and moving towards that goal? Because for most people, the enjoyable part is the chasing of the goal. It's not the hitting of the goal. Yeah. I was talking to again, my team, we were coming back from the Central Coast last night, and we had a week where with sales, we wasn't bad, but it was nowhere near what we wanted to and what we expected to for doing that. And we sort of broke down that, these guys have some really, really cool goals set in place, but they're 5, 10, 15 years down the line. But it's like, fuck, and we spoke about this, and I was like, well, what's the last goal you hit? And for a lot of people, it was like weight goals or stuff like, or moving out or doing things like that. It's like, cool, how's that goal initially feel as soon as you do it? And they're like, fuck yeah, really awesome. It's like, cool, how did it feel 15 seconds later?
Yeah, it's like, what next?
And they were like, oh, it was over.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, yeah. It's like, so for me, I think now it's like the biggest lesson I've learned is I got to constantly set goals, and it's when I don't, that's when, depression and stuff sinks in, and that's when, you feel that need to go out and drink and party or do a lot of dumb shit there as well, because you just don't have clear and present goals set in place, and reminding yourself what those are every day. And it's just not easy, but it's worth it, I guess, at the end. It is like that hard work pays off. 100%. But I think the big one as well, I think one of the biggest ones too is I've stopped looking for gratification from other people for what I'm doing. I think that's a big one where I see a lot of people, and I was really bad for this myself. I would just want constant gratification from people to tell me I was doing I wanted gratification just for doing the hard job, not for doing it well or not for getting a good result, but just because I was doing the hardest version of it. It's like, well, if the easier version is more profitable, it's going to get us that result quicker or going to get us a cheaper, better result, why the fuck aren't you doing that one? and so for me, yeah, it was just like you got to a point where people would get frustrated around you because, oh, okay, I don't want to work with Andy because today's going to be a fucking grind, or we're going to be out till 8 o'clock at night, or we're going to be, putting in extra hours and doing this, because that's what he likes, and I would never sort of, I guess, listen to accept anyone else's opinion of that as well. So, yeah, just stop looking for gratification from other people.
Yeah.
I think those are probably the 3 or 4 biggest things. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. On that, like so many people, especially instant gratification, everyone's seeking it these days.
Yeah, man.
No one wants to play the long game anymore.
I think people.
Do you have TikTok by any chance?
I do not. No.
Okay, if you were to open it, people who listen, if you have TikTok, bro, you just scroll through how to make $100,000 in 6 months, how to build this in 6 months, like
Yeah.
6 months.
I see that all over Facebook and and internet and a lot of those sort of programs with that there as well. And I think there is like benefit to some of them. I think with the information, people that sort of know what they're doing, sometimes if you just need a system, they work. But I think the reason they fail for 99.9% of people is, they're looking to put in the minimum effort and get the maximum result, which is just, obviously that's never going to happen.
Life doesn't work like that.
No. I think instant gratification is scary. I don't have stuff like TikTok for that reason.
I guess we all kind of go for like, maybe I don't know if you post much on social media, but if you post and you're like, oh fuck, how many likes did I get?
Bro, it's so I try not to, but I try not to post because of that, and I get frustrated with myself for looking at how many likes something's got.
It's kind of natural. It's like, because it's a dopamine hit. If people are liking all your shit, like, oh fuck, I feel good. Like people are liking my stuff.
Yeah, man.
And then if people don't like your shit, and that's when it spirals the other way.
Yeah, man. It's super funny. Ever since I stopped caring about that, I think I got more likes on posts than I ever have before, because I don't know, which is super weird. The irony of it.
Is it maybe because you were just posting whatever the fuck you wanted instead of caring?
Maybe just cool shit. Yeah. Like I post cool, for me, what I would like to see, like PR lists and stuff. And I think like I post a lot of like, mentality and stuff as well, because I think I always appreciate it when I just stumble across that stuff. It's like, oh shit, cool, I needed that today. Didn't know I needed it. So, I mean, if someone else gets that sort of that kick out of it as well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. My favorite quote at the moment is life happens for you, not to you.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. You're meant to go on the path that you are. You can change whatever you want to change. But so many people play that victim mentality. Oh, this is happening to me. Why me? Shit like that.
Yeah, man. Victim mentality is scary.
And we all go through it. Like I've been through it myself.
It's a hard one to break out of, I think, as well. It leads to a lot of scary shit.
That's why I love that quote, because anytime I'm in a bit of a rut, I'm like, fuck it. It's all happening for a reason. I may not see it now because I'm in the shit.
Yeah.
But like once it passes, a week or day or whatever.
I think one of the cool things that I got to learn through my job now and through fitness and through sales and again through guys like Connor and is training myself. When I get frustrated at something, I start to get excited now as well, which I think is really cool, because I know it's like that level of I'm getting better at something, and I look forward to the day I'm not frustrated by this anymore. And I guess the way I explain this to you is like, even like with guitar and stuff, there'll be times where I wouldn't touch a guitar for 3 months because I couldn't play a chord, and then all of a sudden I pick it up and I'm playing that chord perfectly. And again, just because, different circumstances, different time, taking a break away from stuff. The victim mentality stuff scares me though, especially I see it with like a lot of really younger people now, I guess, as well. I don't spend heaps of time on social media, so that's not a thing for me, I guess. But I mean, I see guys, even if I look at like employees that we get coming through business now, like they will spend every active second on social media and wondering what other people think, and getting upset with like we even had guys come through not long ago. We're talking about sort of like area beasts with Mount Druitt and stuff and all that sort of thing. And it's like, I get like I used to sort of hang around with some like pretty scary people, I guess, at one point in time in my life, and it's like if you continue to glorify that sort of behavior, or if you know, continue to feel victimized by something that no one's done to you personally, you know, that cycle perpetuates, and you see people get hurt, or you see stuff get better, and that's a pretty scary thing.
100%. Now, I guess we'll start to wrap it up.
Sure.
For all the listeners, where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, sure. I don't even know what my social media tag is. Is that bad? What is it?
While you look for that, is there any, I guess, piece of advice you could give to the listeners as well?
So to find me on social media, so TVP _ Andy _ Miller. So TV.
I'll put the link
Andy
in
Miller.
the description anyway.
Bit of advice. I think the big one for me is like and the cool thing you meet with like and watching podcasts like this and stuff, and like we met because I sort of you like something and I reached out and just sort of went, cool, I really like what you're doing in the podcast. Like I think it's don't be afraid to talk to people that are doing shit that you want to do or that have advice on things, and ask people those questions and try and get that point of view from as many people as you can. I think that's the best bit of advice I could possibly give, you know. It's like for me through my work, it's like we try to do sort of mentality training stuff, and we do these things, and like I'll say something and I'll drill it to someone for 6 months straight, and then, you know, Connor or Zach or someone else we work on will come through and say the same fucking thing, literally word for word, and then all of a sudden that person just clicks it and gets it.
It's like that, hey?
It's the most fucking annoying thing on the face of the planet. But on the same token, it's like if you're not talking to enough people, someone just might say something in a way that I think you understand better, and you just don't know what kind of relationship you're going to have with those people, and don't be afraid to build those relationships with people. Don't be afraid to reach out to folks. I mean, I was successful in my music career because I just was not afraid to ask for it. I'm successful with what I do now because I'm just not afraid to shoot my shot and do the worst thing that's going to happen is someone's going to say no, or they're not interested, or you don't find cool, fucking move on to the next person.
You never know until you ask.
100%, and I think that's the big thing there. Like people that want to make $1 million in a year, people that want to have a better mentality, people that want to deal with depression, anxiety, but are too scared to initially go and talk to a doctor or a therapist or do something about it there as well. People that have problems with alcoholism, but you know, are worried about what their friends are going to think about them and not being able to get out and do that stuff there too. Talk to other people that are going through the same thing. Get a different perspective on it, because the worst thing that's going to happen is you're probably going to help each other. And I think that's pretty cool. You know, and people actually taking time and to I mean, this is now the sort of like my second podcast that I've done on the topic, and it's sort of like I've had a bunch of people that have reached out and stuff too, and it's good to, like, it's nice for me to know that I'm not the only person that feels like that.
Yeah.
But B as well, it's nice to sort of talk to people, to get out there, make that difference, build new connections, and you know, make that foothold in the world. Again, for me, it's like now, it's like cool. I want to help people be the best version of themselves. People like that helps me be the best version of myself there as well, which I think is pretty cool. And the other bit of advice is like appreciate your friends and family and people that are around you. I mean, like my mother's probably the most amazing woman on the face of the planet. I'm lucky to have guys like Connor and Nick and Zach and the friendship group, and Shane, my coach there as well. That just help me be better every day. Yeah. And don't be afraid to be better. Don't be afraid to say no, to say yes, to do the cool shit.
100%. That's why I love doing this podcast, because I can get people on like yourself to share your stories, and you know, someone might relate to you or they might relate to someone else, but it's understanding, wow, I'm not alone, or 100%. I can make change in my life. I can do this in my life because look at this guy, he's done it.
My story is by no means special, and I like, you know, and my life is still a work in progress, but yeah, it's
relatable. That's the thing.
Maybe I don't know. I'll leave that, I guess, up to other people to say. I won't say one way or the other, but I think if I take this from a point of just being humble and and saying, cool, this is what I've been through, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm trying to do to be better and to make a difference, then awesome. At least I'm trying, and that's the thing for me at the end of the day.
That's all you can do.
100%. At least I know that when I go to bed every night, cool, I put 100% of what I could into everything I did today.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Probably the hardest way of doing it, but that's cool. That's a work in progress.
Is what it is. We'll lead into my last few questions.
For sure.
How do you define success?
That's a good question. Do you want to know how I used to define success versus how I define it now?
Yeah.
So how I used to define it, how much money was in my bank account and how much people envied me and looked up to me. I really, for a really, really long time, and this is until really, really recently actually, I just wanted people to know how amazing I was. And I think that was, again, through a lot of depression stuff, a lot of the victim mentality stuff, and a lot of things that have happened through business and personal life. It's like, fuck, no, people need to know that that's not me. This is who I am, and do that. Now, it's super funny. Like, success, if you would ask me maybe even 6 months ago, might have even been that soon. I would have said, success is a big fucking house, fancy sports car, do all this stuff. Success now for me is, how do I feel about what I'm doing every day? Do I enjoy waking up? Do I have some really cool goals in place? Am I doing it for the right reason? I think now as well is a big one. I ask myself every day if I'm doing it for the right reason. And some days are better than others. Some weeks are better than others. But yeah, it's cool if I can answer that question. If am I doing it for the right reason, and what's my intent behind doing this and for the day, then cool, that's success for me now. I'm not too focused on the material aspect of it. That stuff just has a habit of coming and going. Yeah, the success now is how do I feel about what I'm doing? Fuck what everyone else feels about it. I don't care, which is a dangerous thing to say, because there are elements of, obviously, with life where you have to care what other people think, but no, for the most part, it's like, cool, am I happy with what I'm doing? That's success now.
Do you feel successful?
I feel like I'm on a path
to
success. I have a lot that I want to do. Again, I have good days and I have bad days. I would say over the last 2 to 3 weeks, I probably had more, or the last month, I probably had more days where I don't feel successful. Today was a day I woke up and did feel successful, though. Couldn't tell you why. Maybe it was because I know I was coming to do something like this, and cool, I put myself out of my comfort zone again, and do something cool. I'm not sure, but today was a day that I woke up feeling successful. But I would probably say for the better part of the last month, no. But that happens. I think with that level of that mentality of success, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. And I think one thing I constantly remind myself of is as human beings, we're inherently, it's way easier to look at the hard things and the bad things than it is to find the positive. It's a fight or flight thing. You have to really train yourself to always look for the positive stuff there, and that's exhausting. And anyone that tells you it's not is lying straight to your face. It is proper exhausting to try and be positive all the time, to try and move forward all the time.
It's easy just to look at all the bad shit.
Yeah, but sometimes, I don't know, whether it feels like you just have to. Okay, cool. Well, that stuff's happening there as well. And if I ignore that for too much longer, man, I'm going to set myself back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. There was a point where the slump that I've been on for the last month would last 6 months, Now it's cool, I've got it down to a month, and I'm still performing at a high level and being successful with what I'm doing. Or a higher level than most, I should say, not a level, a level that I would personally be happy with, but comparatively a high level. But no. So yes and no. It's good days and bad days, but for the most part, I think we're on a path to success there.
That's the roller coaster of life.
Yeah, it's a bitch. I hate roller coasters too.
Me too. Last question: when your time's all up and done on this earth, what would you like to be remembered for?
Fuck. That's deep. Man, legacy's a big one for me. I think if you just leave, I think that's one of the Yeah, I think legacy is just the big one there. I don't know. I'd like to be remembered for someone that, again, just helped people find the best version. Hopefully, I'm someone that people enjoy being around. I don't know if it's positive. I'm good. I think, again, 6 months ago, I would have told you a very different answer to that question.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's going to be different in 6 months' time as well, probably.
Maybe, probably, yeah, probably. Fuck, I don't know how many times the answer to that question would have changed for the next 6 years. Look, man, if I all said and done, by the time I die, if I help one person find the best version of myself, that's success for me, man. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess the real answer now, though, is I don't care. If it's positive, hopefully it's positive.
Yeah.
But fuck, I don't know. As long as I'm happy, I'm good. But I'm gonna be dead, so it's not gonna matter.
True. Well, Andy, thank you so much for coming on.
No worries, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All good. Had a good chat. Talk some shit. Had a bit of laughs, and then some serious stuff in there too.
Fantastic, man. I appreciate it.
All good. For all the listeners, if you've enjoyed this episode, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head over to Andy's Instagram. Check him out. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.